morning, everyone. My name is Elise Garrick, and I am the Health and Wellness Coordinator at GBS Benefits. And today we'll be talking about how park prescriptions or spending time out in nature can improve your health. And I'm excited. I think this is a pretty fun topic that I don't think is very well known, but there are so many benefits. So I think it's going to be a great presentation. But my overall hope is after today's presentation, you'll be able to incorporate some of these ideas that maybe make it a little bit more feasible for you to get some more fresh air and sunshine by spending time outside. All right, so a brief agenda for today. First, we'll talk about the problem or what spurred the creation of park prescriptions in the first place. Then we'll talk about what they actually are. We'll review what the benefits are and how to make park prescriptions applicable to each of us, or how to spend more time outside during our workday or when we're at home. And then lastly, we'll cover some activity ideas. So first, the problem. The average American spends about 90% of their time indoors. And this is according to the Environmental Protection Agency. They report that on average, people spend 87% of their time in buildings, 3% in automobiles, and only about 10% outdoors. And research has shown a correlation between time spent inside and higher levels of depression and fatigue and anxiety. And this is partially due to spending more time on electronics, which just lends itself to more feelings of comparison, poor self-esteem, or even just unrealistic expectations. But technology and social media, without question, provides so many different benefits, from connecting people to services and information and opportunities. So this issue really lies more in that people struggle to find that balance between the benefits as well as the negatives that are associated. But spending time outdoors is highly linked to better moods and better outlooks on life. And humans have an innate biological attraction to nature, some more than others. And when we limit that connection by not spending time outdoors, we deprive ourselves from an element that is really key to a healthy life and to happiness. It also can make us more vulnerable to a variety of chronic diseases, including diabetes, hypertension, anxiety, and depression. So now let's talk about what a park prescription is and what it stands for. Park RX is an initiative to prescribe parks and other recreational settings to do three things. The first one, to prevent chronic conditions, then to improve social, physical, and mental health, and also to promote wellness. So it's an initiative to prescribe spending time outdoors, just like a doctor would prescribe a medication. And their hope was that this community health initiative could connect patients to parks by way of a provider-patient relationship in a healthcare setting. And this all started back in 2013. So park prescriptions were around before then, they just weren't as popular or as commonly used. But around that time, a group of practitioners and park agencies got together. The Institute at the Golden Gate, the National Recreation and Parks Association, as well as the National Park Service, got together with a group of doctors, and they began to discuss this emerging trend of prescribing nature to improve mental and physical health. And they really just wanted to move past these initial pilot tests and make it more of a mainstream thing. And so they developed the National Park RX Initiative with the goal of supporting the emerging community of park prescription practitioners. And since then, some different organizations have been created. For example, Park RX America is an organization that has developed a standardized tool to rate parks, and they've recruited people and trained public health students to rate parks and have provided a lot of resources and materials that are now available to give some additional background, as well as just access to different locations and parks in people's areas. And so this initiative also involves health as well as social service providers, again, to encourage people to spend time in nature to improve their overall health and well-being. And these are actual prescriptions from clinically trained doctors. And it's been reported that patients have found this to be a really refreshing change to their routine checkups. They reported being pleasantly surprised, as well as responding well to outdoor nature therapy as a component of their treatment plan. And I think that this makes a lot of sense, that something like this was created, because at least for me, spending time outdoors really does help improve my mental health. It helps ground me. Just being unplugged and focusing on my surroundings is always such a refreshing change for me. And the overall mission here of Park RX is to do a few things: to ease the burden of chronic disease, to increase health and happiness, and foster environmental stewardship by encouraging doctors to routinely prescribe time in nature to patients. And this leads us perfectly into the benefits of Park prescriptions. So we're going to touch on these things here in the next few slides. So first, as far as mental health benefits, this brings us back to our original problem that we talked about earlier. All of us are busy. We have our day-to-day life obligations. We have different demands, as well as trying to balance home life and work and family, and have time for our hobbies and eat healthy and do all of these things, right? And so all of these factors can combine to take a toll on our mental health. But if we try to make it a priority to spend some time outdoors, researchers say that it's more likely to decrease and lessen anxiety and depression, as well as build social connections, because usually if we're doing something outside, we're with family members or friends and we're bonding over that experience. It also helps us improve focus, which can be really helpful when we're back at work. It helps us improve our mood, and it also decreases stress. And some of the physical health benefits here are lowering blood pressure, improving immunity, increasing physical activity. A lot of times when we're outside, we're doing something physical, decreasing our risk for diabetes, as well as improving our cardiovascular health. Not to mention that just getting some fresh air really can help dilate our blood vessels and our lungs and help with the cleansing and tissue repair within them. So there are a lot of mental health benefits as well as physical health benefits. Now let's talk about some environmental benefits. So building a relationship with the natural world through spending more time outdoors helps us foster a connection. Gradually, we begin to care and we start to understand that there really is a connection between the earth and ourselves, and that we have an opportunity to take care and preserve the things that we love so much now. It leads us to a commitment to care for the earth. When we have positive experiences out in nature, it helps lead to that lifelong commitment to care for and conserve natural resources and the outdoors that we currently enjoy. When I was younger, I went on a backpacking trip through part of New Mexico, and we traveled through a preserved park area with it was like a high adventure organization. And it was beautiful. The mountains were huge and there was so many trees, and it was just a different place that I had never been, and it was so fun. But while I was there, they explained how they had to take care of this area so carefully because they constantly had people moving in and out during the busy times of the year. And if we didn't take care of it, it would be ruined just from the total amount of traffic that was traveling through that area. And so the whole goal was to make it look like we hadn't been there. They taught us to try and fluff the grass back up from when we packed up our tents and moved on for the next day. They made us pack everything in and out that we had. We didn't leave any trace. And they just really tried to preserve everything the way it was. And at first, I thought that the extent we were going to was kind of silly, but having that positive experience in nature, it really helped me learn to appreciate what we have. And it really helped foster that connection for me and want me to help take care of the earth and just keep everything the way it is so that my kids and grandkids can also enjoy it. All right, lastly, we're going to talk about some benefits for special populations. So for children, outdoor play in a natural setting can improve motor, strength, balance, and coordination skills. And it can also contribute to children's cognitive, emotional, social, and educational development. And then for the elderly, time outdoors in a natural setting can also improve cognition and mood. So a lot of different benefits here. But now we're going to talk a little bit more about how to make it more applicable to us. You might be thinking that all sounds nice, but I just don't really have time for this or access to nature. So how can I really apply it to my life? So let's talk through some simple ideas, some suggestions that might help that be a little bit easier for you. So first of all, during work hours, there are a few things that we can do. First is requesting outdoor or walking meetings. Now, this isn't going to always be an option, right? But not every single meeting always requires a slide deck. Sometimes it's just simply to sync with your coworkers or your manager one-on-one. And this can be a perfect way to get your blood flowing, to go outside, but also to keep working. You could also try to plan ahead and eat lunch outdoors. Do you have any local parks nearby that you could walk to, or is there a grassy area or maybe even just a bench outside your workplace that you can use? But if you do this, try to avoid looking at your phone the whole time, but rather unplug and focus on your senses, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and really use that time to be a refreshing time for you and to help boost your productivity levels and improve your focus. The next thing is to schedule some breathing breaks. So you should already be taking breaks throughout the day. That's a given. But this is just a simple thing you can do, is adding a trip outdoors for a few deep breaths of fresh air, or just taking a lap around your building, walking out to your car and back, just some simple things just to have a little bit of a change of pace and enjoy the sunshine. The next thing here is taking conference calls outside. Again, this isn't always going to be an option, so you need to be mindful of your situation because wind noise can be really distracting. So either shoot for really calm days or maybe on things that you'll be primarily listening in on. You might have the opportunity to do that outside and enjoy the nature there. The next thing is to park strategically. So parking a little bit further away gives you that added opportunity to be outside even for just a few more minutes as you walk to and from your car. It can still be beneficial to do that. And then our last point here is biking or walking to work, if that's an option for you. Maybe just making a goal to do that once or twice a week, or if you live a little bit farther away, consider trying to look into some public transportation options that might drop you off a little bit farther from work, so you just have to walk maybe a block or two to your workplace. But most of these things are going to require some sort of plan, some thinking ahead of time to make sure that they can actually work into your routine. So I want you to think about that at the end of this presentation. Think about some different ways you might be able to incorporate that next week and make that goal. Plan ahead to do one or maybe two of these things next week. Okay, so not everyone has ample access to a forest or a park, but there are a few things that you can do to create a positive environment within your own home and your workspace. So you could bring some plants or flowers in and place them on your desk and enjoy bringing some greenery to freshen up your space there. You could also try to open up blinds to bring some sunshine into your space, or even open up the windows maybe earlier in the morning if it's cooler to enjoy some fresh air. Try to situate your desk maybe closer to a window if you can. You could also add a bird feeder outside your window if you're working from home, so you can try to enjoy that element of nature. Another really easy thing here is just adding a simple landscape picture to your desktop. That's something super simple and easy, but it really is something that can add some additional calm and peace to your workday. So another technique that we're going to talk about is forest bathing. And this term emerged in Japan in the 1980s as a psychological and physiological exercise called Shinrin Yoku. And Shinrin means forest and Yoku means bath, or it just simply means taking in the forest atmosphere. And the purpose when it was created was twofold: to offer an eco antidote to the tech boom burnout they were experiencing. So again, just the overwhelm of all the technology and exposure to screens that they were facing. And then secondly, to inspire residents to reconnect with and protect the country's forests. And the practice is really super simple. It can be as simple as consciously connecting with what's around you, taking a moment to take in your surroundings. And the first thing that you want to do if you're going to try to practice forest bathing is to first find a spot, whether it's on a trail or at a park or even in your backyard, wherever it is, you want to find a spot that you can kind of walk aimlessly and slowly through and listen to your senses and kind of take in what's around you. You want to let your body be your guide and take your time. This isn't supposed to be a stressful thing. It's supposed to be relaxing and calming. It doesn't really matter where you go or if you end up not going anywhere during this time. You just really want to savor the sounds and the smells and the sights of nature and really let the forest sink in and enjoy your surroundings. One key thing here, though, is you want to try to unplug from technology. That's going to be a common theme we talk about today, is leaving that behind just so you can begin to listen and feel and touch and sense the world around you, be more present. So when you're doing this, you want to focus on the leaves and the fresh air and the things that give you a sense of comfort. Of course, if you're going to do this, you want to be mindful to take some proper safety precautions. So yes, you want to unplug from your phone, but if you're going to be going on a hike or a walk, make sure you still have that with you. Wear your sunscreen, know where you're going, and all of that stuff. And while forest bathing is a nice thought, it does require some action to see these benefits. And the best way to see some benefits from this is by making a goal, making a SMART goal, one that's going to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. For example, if I want to spend more time outdoors, that's what I want to do. I need to make that some sort of measurable. So I'm going to say, I want to spend 5 hours outside. And for me, I'm going to know if that's achievable or realistic. And then I also want to make sure it's timely. So I'm going to put some sort of deadline on that. Let's say I want to spend 5 hours outside this week, and that's going to be my goal for the week. And then I can kind of reevaluate and readjust at the end of the week and see if that was proper and realistic for me and move from there. So I want to encourage you guys to do that, to make some type of outdoor goal or how much time you're going to spend outdoors. You can also do that in a little bit of a different structure, and that's by just creating your own park prescription. So this is just another easy way to create an outdoor goal, but it provides a little bit of a different outline and structure. It has that same key component of a SMART goal, but by asking yourself these questions, it might just help you brainstorm where and when would work best for you. So first you want to identify a place. Where do you feel safe and comfortable outside? Where do you like or intend to spend time outdoors? And then you want to maybe think through an activity that you're going to do. What do you enjoy doing outside? What can you commit to do outside? With whom, or are you alone? Are you unplugged without earbuds or headphones? Then think through the frequency. So how many times am I going to do this per week? Which days of the week? Is it going to be in the afternoon, the morning, after school or work, or is it mostly on the weekend? And then lastly, the duration. How many minutes or hours can you realistically commit to engaging in this activity? So again, just a quick, easy outline for a different way you can create some type of goal to spend more time outdoors. So now let's talk through some different outdoor activity ideas. It is summer, so there are so many fun things that you can do to spend more time outdoors. First, there are so many fun holidays coming up. I mean, this weekend is going to be the 4th of July. It's going to be a fun holiday weekend, a lot of parades or fireworks or different things going on outside. Just this past week, we had the summer solstice, but there's also some fun national holidays like National Hammock Day or International Yoga Day. There's a lot of these fun holidays. If you look it up, there's probably a holiday for every day of the year, but these are just some fun ones that are coming up that you could do with your family, make it some sort of fun activity together. So try looking up some different holidays and celebrate that way. You could also try creating a walking or hiking group and enjoy the benefits of nature outside together, get some social interaction, bond over that experience of being outdoors together. You could also pick up a new hobby, whether it's gardening or kayaking or chalk art. These are just a few suggestions. There are tons of things you can do. Hang up a hammock and read a book outdoors. Whatever sounds like it would be fun and enjoyable for you. Try and do something new this weekend or next month. Make that a goal for you. The next thing is to plan a picnic or a barbecue. Maybe invite some friends over for the holiday or go to a local park. If you don't want to host, try taking some of that pressure off yourself by making it a potluck. Just make it a fun experience for everyone. You could also invest in some outdoor sports equipment or games that you could utilize, even maybe it's at that barbecue you're going to throw. Just trying to get more active and trying something new like cornhole or spike ball, or maybe it's just a volleyball net or a basketball hoop, whatever it is. There are a lot of different fun options you can use. And the last thing here is trying to take your workout outside of the gym. Maybe you want to go for a walk, or you want to take your dog on a walk, or you like to run. Try doing that outside. You could also even just set up your phone and follow along to a body weight workout, or doing some yoga on International Yoga Day coming up. You could do that outside. So these are just some fun activities coming up that you could do. We also created this fun resource. It's called the Park RX checklist. So the goal is here to check off 5 of the listed activities. They're all relatively easy and simple. Things like going stargazing or nurturing a plant, whether it's indoors or outdoors, practicing forest bathing like we talked about, or setting a goal for spending time outside. So go ahead and scan that QR code if you haven't, and you'll get this resource here over on the right. And it might be something fun that you can incorporate to your holiday weekend and accomplish some of these activities that include some time outdoors. So in summary, spending time in nature has a lot of different benefits, physical, social, mental health benefits. It also promotes overall wellness, like we talked about. Try to incorporate outdoor time during your workday by scheduling walking meetings, eating lunch outside, or walking to work if possible. And also try out some of these fun activities we talked about, whether it's forest bathing and you're going to try that for the first time, or that Park RX checklist we just talked about. There are a lot of fun summer activities, especially again for the 4th of July. Go do something fun outdoors with your friends and family. But overall, just try to make it a small improvement every day. Just try and do one thing outside and do your best to set that goal and get outside for the upcoming summer months. Thank you so much for joining. We have a few minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to add them in that comment box, or if you want to email wellness@gbsbenefits.com, we can also get that resource to you, or if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Elise, I'm just looking at the chat. I let people know if they had questions, they could drop it in the chat or the Q&A. I haven't seen anything come through, so maybe we can just hold on for another minute or two in case anyone has questions.
Definitely. Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, then I hope you all have a wonderful holiday weekend and enjoy the rest of your day.
I'll stop the recording now. Thanks, Elise.
Yeah, no problem.